Hi, I'm Yasmeen Owusu, and this is my producer, Charlie Kesenek.
But I'm your husband. You're using all my stuff right now. What are you talking about?
So anyway, I've been looking for a one-stop shop podcast for wellness, amateur sociology, psychology, pop culture, and whatever else sparks my interest. So I created one. We are limited to no lanes. We hit the gas and get into it. This is Peaked. Press play. Hi, Charlie.
Hello,
I
Yasmeen.
just said it in a normal accent this time.
I just say Yasmeen because that's what I always call you. Yasmeen.
Government name.
I yell
You never
across
call
her.
me that.
Yasmeen. I'm yelling across the house.
Welcome to Peak Podcast.
Hello.
And how are you doing today?
Great.
This is me being professional. And how are we doing today?
We're
Welcome to the
doing
studio.
great.
A little out of it. I didn't get the best sleep last night.
Yeah.
I
You
woke
woke
up really early to make bread. I didn't plan my sourdough starter dough bulk fermentation properly to not wake up at 5 a.m. So I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and do a pull and fold and whatever, shove and tug.
Whoa, that's something different, I think.
Whatever. I'm not a professional baker, but I have been baking frequently. Anyway,
I bet they have like bread calculators.
I'm not going to use that.
Yeah, probably
I'm just going to keep, being chaotic and bumping along. And here we are.
It sounds like a good idea.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We've had 2 Charlie-less episodes, and one of them was right after we had our 15-year anniversary.
That's right.
So I want to say in front of everyone, happy anniversary, 15
Happy anniversary,
years.
babe.
I've been saying that's 2 7-year itches.
That's right. That's true.
Yes. And so that we're going to be talking
7.5
about
year
that.
itches.
Yes, Charlie, 7.5-year itches, but there's still
Math.
time. There's still time, Virgo. We can cut it right here if you want. And it just goes blank and you just never hear from this podcast again. But yeah, we are going to be talking about relationship and, kind of ours, but also just like what we've learned about them in general.
We're going to preach.
First,
We're starting a whole, this is our pitch to sell you our 10-week program. It only costs the small, what is the cost of love? It's priceless. It's only $52,000 a week. And we are going to be coaching everyone through about how to be in a relationship.
Yeah. I really didn't know where you were going to go with this. And so when I realized you're making a joke, I was like, okay, this is our grift. But now that you've said that as a joke, we can never use that grift.
Damn
if
it.
things get hairy. Or I could just delete this episode down the line.
We're going to, let's
We'll
stop.
see how
Stop recording.
All right. Well, let's get into what is on our mind other than that, or on our nerves.
Okay.
And Charlie, take it away.
I have both a mind and nerves, but today I will be focusing on my nerves.
Okay.
And on my nerves is my mind.
Wow.
And on my mind is my nerves.
Okay. Let's get more specific.
I'm freaking out during tennis and screaming and throwing my racket, and it's not good, and I
That
need to
is
stop
true.
acting like a child.
Yes, I agree.
When we play tennis, sometimes I get real in my ego, and I start getting really frustrated. And when I get frustrated about the fact that I'm frustrated. And that makes me more
Hurt
frustrated.
turns to anger. Anger turns to pain. That's all I could hear when you're saying
That's
that.
all I'm saying. I don't have anything. I couldn't come up with anything else to talk about, but it is really annoying. I mean, I honestly don't even want to talk about it with you. You already told me.
I kind of not gave you an ultimatum, but I told Charlie that I've had it.
This is this is also part of relationship advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I reached my threshold of it.
Yeah.
The last time we kind of had him, and you've been better the last couple times we've played, but there is I think we all get frustrated. I have my ego involved in tennis too. I definitely get frustrated. I get pissed off all the time. I screw up my serves. I definitely get angry. I definitely have minor outbursts, but I think the level of outbursts is, and we play in public, we play in a park full of kids. So I didn't create this on your mind, on your nerves. It sounds like I did. I was like, okay, Charlie, so you're going to confess.
Time to publicly come out and and talk about your anger.
Giving relationship advice. I'm like, I passive aggressively goad him into being on my podcast so I can berate him about. Yeah, listen.
No, it's it's frustrating. I mean, it's because what did I say to you today? I started to have a freak out, and I was like trying to calm myself down, and I'm like, it's like there's no like rational way to stop irrational feelings. It's like the irrational part of you doesn't want to hear the rational reasons to not freak out. But you just have to stop freaking out when you're freaking out. You have to stop yourself. You can't you can't let that shit happen.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing from recognition because like I actually do not, I've gotten better, I would say this year, and the year is young. I do not have a great track record of when I start spiraling, like calming myself down.
Yeah.
I think where we differ is the same way you wouldn't freak out at work. No, like hear me out.
No,
you wouldn't freak out at work, and you talk about it's hard to do, but in your mind, whether rage happens or not at work, it's in the non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And maybe it's an upbringing thing or whatever, being reserved. Screaming like that in public is absolutely non-negotiable to me. Like I would never be in a public tennis court throwing rackets, screaming. Like I wouldn't like, so it's just that, right? So it's like, it's not that you can't control it, because when I'm at home, I feel like I can't control it, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm trying to do something and I spill coffee beans everywhere, I do not have a good track record of bringing that energy down. Like, so I don't want to be sitting here being like, I have control of my anger. But just for some reason, that forum, like,
I don't know why I feel like it's appropriate. I don't know.
Obviously, you don't think it's appropriate, but
I don't,
for some reason,
it's
not
possible.
a deal breaker. And like, it's just hardwired to me to find that behavior in public, like just entirely too embarrassing. It's also why I hit critical mass with it. It's not so much about me being like where you should be spiritually. It's like, I don't want to play with someone who's screaming like this in front of people.
I think part of it is that it's physical activity. And so you get like ramped
amped,
up.
And,
and I should not be drinking second coffees before we play tennis. That's not helping.
My dude, whatever you got to do.
But it was a delicious coffee.
Yeah.
So no regrets. And I worked it out today. I've got through it.
Yeah.
But it sucks because it doesn't feel good and you want to scream. And I did do like a little bit of a moment.
Yeah. But I make noises too, and I'll be like, shit, like I'll
it's a pretty
do
good
that.
Channel,
I think it's just like full blown, very
scary.
Not innocuous tantrums, or like that's where I get like, oh gosh.
What's on your nerves?
Public spectacles. Your freakouts. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. We're going to continue.
That's actually what this episode is about. All my notes are like secretly about like calling you out for that stuff.
Oh my God.
No. So growing illiteracy.
Oh God.
I have a specific thing with this. I'm not over here to like flex literacy on people. Like I really actually I am going to talk about how the declining literacy is ruining my life, but I want to preface that by saying I very much defend people or Americans when people like talk about, oh, America's illiterate or they have terrible schools, because I do think that that's often coming from like people from other countries who don't realize like the inequity that people deal with. It's not like people just like don't want to read. Like there are a lot of places that are like poorly served, and like, schools are defunded, and, educators are not paid. So like talking about it like it's just like these dumb people don't want to try it's really reductive and stupid.
They're like literally trying to funnel those people straight into the army.
Exactly. And there's a lot of like poor and, I don't think people realize how rural and poor the United States can really get. Like it's such a disparity of wealth and access. So the way that I hear a lot of like Europeans and like, Scandinavian people talk about the illiteracy here, it almost seems like they just think it's like on the citizen level and people just don't give a shit to pick up a book, when really it's like, it's an equity problem.
Right.
Anyway, all of that being said, we are getting less and less literate. Like that is just factual. I mean, there's every statistic to tell you. And I think that those of us who maybe are the last scraping generation of decent literacy, it can be really tough. It can be tough to communicate, because you've stopped just arguing about a subject, and now you have the problem of the person you're talking to doesn't actually know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like really recently, I was going back and forth with somebody, I think online, probably in a comment of one of my clips or something like that, always amicably. And they were being very constructive, not trying to say anything badly about that, but they were talking about what I was saying. They're like, I think it's disingenuous to say that whatever. And what they meant was they disagreed with me and they thought that I was wrong. And it took a lot of back and forth for me to be like, and I'm starting to, it almost makes me into a semantic arguer because I'm like disingenuous. Like that implies that I'm being purposely misleading.
Yeah.
Whereas what you're really saying is just that you disagree with me and you think it's not fair or accurate. You think it's not fair or accurate.
Something like someone
So
coming.
I'm over here being like, how am I being disingenuous? I'm not lying. I didn't say that's really what I thought. That's really my experience. And like, then I come to find out talking to this person more, they're really just trying to say they don't think that that's an accurate, well-rounded representation of something, which we could have argued that whole thing. But because you don't speak English English as their first language person, I've been on this whole garden path of nonsense. And like this continuously happens. And I don't know if it's all literacy. I think some of it is poor processing and ADD. Like people just tend to skim and they don't really pay attention. And it's really, really hard to engage with people who are using incorrect terms and not really engaging with what they're objecting to
not speaking
properly.
the same
Like
language.
people will not finish an entire video and then argue with it. And they haven't even watched it to its completion. So there's a lot of that. I think it's processing also is something that you learn in school and, you learn reading comp and stuff. Like, I remember we used to do like reading comp exercises. Like you read something as quickly as you can and then you say what you derive from it. Like, and I just think we're losing a lot there and it's really frustrating.
It's bad. It's something like being like someone coming for you with a 5-syllable word that they don't know what, they don't even know what it means.
Right, exactly. And I do also have to like, for my part, say that I do have an almost dysfunctional need for people to express themselves accurately and concisely. Even if like I try to communicate in good faith and I do know what people mean and I try not to act like I don't know what you mean. Like I'm never trying to be obtuse, but at the same time, I am someone who wants to be like, are we saying exactly what we mean? Are we using indirect communication? And those things can be dicey for me. Like I like to only talk about exactly what you mean and not like use a lot of inference, I guess.
Right.
So that's also hard. And that maybe comes from me as well. So going through it. I mean, my
rough in these
whatever
comments.
neurodivergence I have, meeting this illiteracy is just like, it's a
not
freaking
good.
hot mess.
We were watching something last night and the guy was like, I actually like your outfit. And that bothered the shit out of me. Cause like, I know that he didn't like, it sounds offensive because it's like, he's talking to this girl he's dating and it's like, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Is you really like that. But to say you actually like that implies that you don't like anything else this person wears.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you sound fucking crazy to me, but
it's
like
inherently insulting.
Right.
It's like
but,
I actually like, well, why wouldn't you?
But I can tell it's like so Gen Z to be like, I actually really like that. It's like, what do you?
Yes, they
That's
are
not how you say
using literally and actually in ways that don't make sense, right? Because I think saying like, I literally did laundry today. How on earth would you figuratively do laundry and why? Right. But like, I know that it's a way of being emphatic.
Yeah.
And they're using actually that way too.
Yeah.
But I think you need to just use an emphasizing word. Like, I really like your outfit. Dang, that's an amazing outfit. I don't think you actually like, as opposed to what?
Yeah, no, I'm sure if I thought hard enough,
like?
there's probably stuff that like our generation did too that's like that, but I don't know.
Yeah. I can only point out what I see cropping up, which is a whole lot of that.
Yeah. Anyway.
It makes things confusing.
Sure does.
Anyway, so that's what's on my mind. Let's move on from that. Since we talked about communication somewhat, which is always the hardest thing in a relationship.
Is it hard for us?
It can be.
No, it can be.
It can
actually,
be.
Yeah. And obviously 15 years in, we've done a lot of work on it.
We have. Yeah. I think a lot of where we've gotten better with communication is copping to when I think I have to cop to when I'm being dogged about communication. Like where I'm like, maybe I understand what you're trying to do or get at, but like, I want you to spit it out. And I can cop to the fact that that's what's happening in ways that before I would just like, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, that's true. And
yeah.
I mean, I now communicate better.
Yes. You also have work to become more direct.
Yes.
We're definitely getting like miles ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not necessarily. We can talk about this however we want.
Well, I think obviously it's like, it's a trope to say, that communication is key in a relationship. And it's a trope for a reason because it's very, very true.
Yes.
But I guess what we're saying is you have to learn how to communicate with each other, and you have to teach each other
Mhm.
how to communicate, how you want to be communicated with. Right?
Yes. And but there are a lot of different communication styles.
Yeah.
And I know it's insane to be a 43-year-old person and only be sort of realizing this, but my communication style, I don't think is the most popular kind, especially not in the United States.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have a very direct communication style, and I do not like to deal well with nebulous communication.
Yeah, well, I think I think I've learned that being direct is really important, though. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of the time you're just avoiding saying what you really feel you need, and that, if you're trying to be indirect, maybe you're trying to maybe I'm like trying to
Yes.
soften the blow or whatever. Like, I would do shit like that, I feel like, but it's never ended well. So every time I've learned,
because it's not my style of communication. So if you're
maybe,
talking about with just me, but I think there may be like culturally, I
yeah.
think niceties and lubing it up a little bit is very popular here. I think people
That's
do
true.
like to kind of like, rather than be like, get this, they'll kind of be like, do you want to help me with, you know what I mean? It's like, and I would be someone, and I'm not exaggerating, and be like, well, I don't want to help you with it, but I'm happy to help you if that's what you like. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
want someone to ask me if they need something, not ask me if I want to help. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of roundabout way of speaking, I find really frustrating.
Yeah.
And even though I understand what people are saying at this point, like maybe when I first moved here when I was 18 or whatever, it was more confusing. I was like, what is this? Like, we're going to go back and forth being like, do you want to do? Like, what the hell? But now I actually understand it's just a way of people asking, and it's a polite way. And it should be as simple as just accepting it as a different way of using language. But for some reason, I feel affronted by it.
Yeah.
It's not just that I can't get it. It's that I don't like it. I have an existential problem with it somehow.
Understood.
And I'm having to learn that that's pathological, but it makes me feel I don't like it. And
relationship keys.
I think
Get your partner
I think it's a great way for people to misunderstand each other a lot.
Yeah.
And when things seem like bad ideas to me and ways to fall into pitfalls, they give me existential angst.
Yeah.
That's the end of the episode. No, I'm kidding. But
all right. Good night. Thank you.
I mean, maybe we should preface a little bit with like so we had 15 years together.
Yep.
And I think we've been together almost on the same level since we started dating. Like,
pretty much.
More or less.
Dove right in.
Yeah. We like went
basically
and
lived
hung
together.
out together. I was fresh out of a relationship. Like, I mean, still living with the person I'd broken up with, because I'm not some like mastermind who had like an apartment set up and all this stuff. So like it took me a second to extrapolate. So like fresh, we like hung out. We had known each other because we worked at a job together and we lived in the same-ish neighborhood. But, I wouldn't say before our date, we'd really hung out a whole lot.
We'd like casually hung out outside of work
with other
once
people,
or twice with other people.
Yeah, like we'd hung out with my friend Frankie, and then we had another coworker, Stuart, that I think we went to a bar a couple times with, but we hadn't hung out one-on-one really, and we didn't know each other super well. But anyway, we went on a date and hooked up, and then just hung out off and on,
hanging out,
and then just kept doing that. And then we were on a bus going to Philadelphia, and some really weird guy with a Walkman. And no, we're not that old.
No,
he just had a Walkman, and like
the last guy with a Walkman.
Yeah, like 2017 or something like that. No, it was before that.
Before that, yeah, whatever. 15,
you do the math.
2011.
In 2011, this man had a Walkman on the bus to Philly, and he said, "Is that your girlfriend?" And we were like, Yeah, I guess so. And that's how we became official. But I guess I want to, so we can start talking about what does work and how we've made it work for so long, get into a little bit where our heads were at and where we were in life when we met.
Okay.
And what maybe approaches we had to relationships. So maybe I'll ask you a question so you're not like at sea with all of this. Where do you think, like, had you had a lot of relationships before this? Did you have an approach and intentionality to relationships, or like, where were you?
No, I mean, I was pretty green. I had some entanglements. I wouldn't even say I'd really had like
entanglements.
I didn't
Not
really
the
have
Jada
like
Pinkett
full on.
Smith.
No, honestly, like I hadn't really had like a full on long term relationship with anyone. You were kind of my first
Well,
and
you were
only.
super young. Weren't you like 21 or 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like 27, I want to
Yeah.
say. So
Mm-hmm.
like I was like, we had a difference in age there. I think we still have that difference in age. It's just a
Yeah.
little less significant when we're the ages we are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was 27 and I think you were like 22 or 21. So
Mm-hmm.
barely,
Yep.
out of home in a way. If you think about it. So like
Sure
that sounds
enough.
kind of normal that you wouldn't have had that many serious relationships.
Nope. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know, open to anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Wish I'd known.
No. Not like
Lord
that.
knows what I could have set up. What kind of
How
insane,
about
like I'm in
you?
charge of
You're
everything.
the opposite end of the spectrum because you were coming straight out of a relationship.
Yes, but that was also one,
Yeah.
honestly. Like that's the only serious one that I had. I had like dated people in high
That's
school,
funny, yeah.
but even the dating, I think by most people's standards at that age was not significant. Like
Yeah.
my friends were dating people for like a year, 6 months, whatever. Like I think I'd maybe made it to 2 weeks with
Yeah.
somebody, and most of the time that I spent with them, I was hiding from them, or
Yeah.
like I don't know. I didn't click with that until very late.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when I was in my early 20s and I was just like running around New York and my friends were like dating and doing all this stuff, like, yeah, I might meet a guy out or at a party or through friends. And then like we'd hang out a couple times or like, for 2 weeks off and on, be texting each other and meeting up with friends and maybe hooking up. But like, I don't know. I just actually couldn't picture myself with a person in that way. I don't think
Yeah.
I had the vulnerability level. Sense of self, none of that.
Yeah.
I was
I
guarded.
I was looking for that, but I hadn't met anyone that it was going to work out with. I definitely tried with a number of girls, but
Yeah.
it just wasn't it wasn't working out. It wasn't panning out in that way.
I definitely wanted to be in a relationship as young as like
Yeah.
6,
Early,
right? Like
early
yeah.
for me
Like
too.
I
I
was
don't
like,
know
I
about
want a
that, but
boyfriend always. And like even in my 20s, I don't want to act like I was like cool and just like really aloof. No, I really, really wanted to be in a relationship. I just actually didn't know how that would work with a person like me. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, if you're not someone who kind of just like fell into it naturally somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I didn't. I don't know. I just wasn't wired the same way. Maybe
Yeah.
flirtation wise. I don't know. I just wasn't as open. Something. I don't know. But I would always kind of seize up and get really freaked out. And not, this all sounds really like cool and sexy. Like I was just not emotionally available and I would just like run. No. Like I could even think that someone who's talking to me was cute and like want to date them. And I've liked guys in high school who didn't like me as much. And I like was actively like upset about it. Right. So like this was not just like I was like some cool aloof girl. So when I actually got in a situation where someone liked me back and whatever, I just got scared.
Right.
Like I didn't think I knew what to do.
Mm.
And I didn't think that it would feel normal to have this person with me a lot. And
Right.
I don't know. I just didn't know how to do it.
That's true.
I didn't know how to sit with some guy for a lot of coffees or whatever people do when they're dating in high school. I just thought it would be awkward. I felt socially stressed about it.
Oh my God. Well, we bonded over how much we hated dating, like going on dates, so many bad dates. Oh my God. Like I was definitely trying to find someone. I was asking girls out. I was going on terrible dates.
Good for you. I never
Terrible ones.
really did that.
It's supposed to be like our job, I guess, the guy's job. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you were getting asked out.
Not as much as you think. The way I said as much as you think, like you think I'm getting asked out a lot. But I actually don't think by most metrics I was being asked out that much. But I did. I'm not someone people cold approach a lot.
You were intimidating when I met you, for sure. Very
what
intelligent. Very intimate. Mostly your intelligence. I'm sure a lot of these fuck boys in New York were like, whoa.
How would they know though?
Good point.
You know what I'm
You're right,
saying?
not
Like I'm
them.
over
They're
here
not them, but
at
even
the
okay.
levee in Williams. Like I'm at this like dive. Like how are they going to know about my intelligence? I wasn't there with a book. I
just
wasn't
mean
reading the
dudes-
novels of Proust.
Dudes like me of average intelligence meeting you, like it's like, oh, okay, this girl is like really smart, got her shit together. I'm like, I was feeling like when I was around you, like
what together?
I don't know, like mentally, maybe not your whole life together, but
I'm still going to say my what together.
well, you come when I didn't know you.
Yeah.
You came off that way.
Right.
No, I mean you do.
No, I've
and you
heard that
did, but-
before. And I think
yeah.
it's maybe it's just some, I think it's just some kind of not really Americanness that people ascribe a lot of sophistication to that shouldn't be there.
She says all the syllables of all the words.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I think some of it's an Africanness and then being a little bit more reserved. And I don't know. I think people.
You are intelligent and
I am.
witty and-
I am intelligent, but I don't think more than you. Like
I don't know.
more than most of my friends. You know what I mean?
You're smarter than a lot of the girls I was talking to.
I believe.
And you were older than me, so I was like, all right,
Yeah.
yeah. I had definitely had some like, oh shit, like when I'm around, yeah, I was like, I was trying to impress you, and I'm like, I gotta be
As you should.
locked in.
Yeah. I mean,
I think I said some dumb shit when we first met and when I was first talking to you, and I don't know, and I was like, oh okay,
did you?
I don't know. Anyway,
I remember you being really funny and irreverent,
nice,
and that's
definitely.
necessary. Yeah.
22-year-old me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely irreverent.
Yeah, and now you're really demure.
Now I'm reverent about everything. Everything matters.
Yeah, yeah. Your album is called Everything Matters, but whatever. All of that. No, I can't really get too granular about how people perceive that. How would I know, right? But
Anyway,
I will say I'm not someone who got cold approached a whole lot. I was more the person who, not super overtly flirty, but if someone was at like 4 parties with me, they might like develop an interest. If I end up being your coworker,
yeah.
then you might develop an interest. But I'm
The
not
same
usually
thing,
the person who everyone's like, running to at a bar. I just don't have that like open flirty
Approachability.
energy. That's not like really how I come across.
Yeah, I definitely felt like no one was like catching me out of the corner of their eye and being like, I wasn't getting those vibes from anyone. It was definitely like girls that I would get to know. Yeah, in a co-working situation.
I
or
don't know.
anything like that.
When I started dating you, there was some chickens.
But I
swirling
had
around,
more than
bro.
I was like, but immediate. Oh well, yeah. But those were all people that I had like.
I was like having to freaking slay dragons. My God, like I'm saying, you had some situations. There were some people. I mean, there was
can I
a
say?
coworker we both had who had a crush
Can you
on
blame
you.
them?
There was a girl from your neighborhood. There was a girl at the bar. To the point where like a random patron of the bar where you worked was like, this girl with dimples was like talking to him, but he was good and he didn't give her that energy. I mean, there was like some stuff. I don't think like I literally was living with my ex-boyfriend. I think I was bringing less drama in terms of like other chicks. There was a girl in one of your band too who was like acting really weird to me. Remember this vaguely?
What can I say?
Yeah. So I don't
Gassing
know.
me up right now. This is just the gas Charlie up episode.
No, I
Never mind.
think Charlie is that kind of like he has easy charm and like obviously you're really handsome. And I think a lot of people think you're that like guy who they've all discovered and like is there like special, really cute like guy who's actually really cool. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of girls think that like you're the like diamond they've discovered kind of thing. I think there's
Yeah, I
some
mean,
of
again,
that
yeah,
vibe.
whatever. All that was to say, I was not getting like, that initial spark, like flirty energy on site from anyone.
I think maybe you were missing it.
Maybe
Because I
That's possible.
I worked with a girl who for sure was trying to throw you at that energy and she thought it was going right over your head.
That's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but whatever. So, but neither of us had a huge dating history by this point, let's say. But I had just gotten out of a 5-year relationship, which was kind of, so I'd had all these like little moments. And I think a lot of my dating, it ran on excitement, drama. I mean, nothing crazy drama, but just like, oh, this person's texting me. Oh, I'm seeing them out. They might not be saying hi, whatever, like that. It was just me keeping my brain busy because I'd never had a real boyfriend or whatever. So like, I was like always wanting to like have a crush and just have something going on.
right.
And then I think when I kind of slowed down with my partying phase, Because I was going out heavily at that time. So like Lower East Side, that whole like hipster scene or whatever. So when that slowed down, I wasn't going out as much. And I met this like very calm, very normal guy who was very sincere at my job. It felt like a natural pivot to just be like, let's give attention here. Because I just never had. And I was like trying to change in a lot of ways I was trying to like slow down, be a little bit more intentional about life and just not be such like a freaking lunatic, just running around like getting drunk all over the Lower East Side and losing all my ID. So like, I think that was just a general calm down period for me. And this was a very calm person that ultimately became a lot of
until he
our
got on the
incompatibility. It turns out that might've been a bit of depression.
Oh, that,
yeah. But so I was just coming off of that. And I think the fact that was still very active in terms of like detaching and moving out and like this, I was the breaker upper. And so this person had a lot of hurt feelings and I was feeling very guilty and terrible about that. Nobody did anything bad to each other. It's just incompatibility.
Right.
But it was very sad and it was very hard to tell someone that and to hurt someone that way. Yeah. And so I was at a very emotionally raw place. And then add to that I'm like, verging on homeless because like I've lived with this person and it was initially their apartment and I'm dealing with this whole thing. And this is New York City. It's not like you just get a place. Like, it's hard, especially in your 20s and you're not making that much money and working restaurants. So like it was a crazy time. And so I think my bandwidth was low, which made me just show up really authentically. Like I was like not going to play a single game. I was not going to misrepresent myself. And I think that really paid off.
No, definitely. I think so. Absolutely.
I remember thinking that like I have nothing to lose here. So if I'm going to be connecting with someone, I'm going to connect as myself. And if it doesn't work, it'll be exactly because it doesn't work. And it's not going to be any kind of smoke and mirrors. And I'm not going to be guarded and just prolong her whatever. Fine. Like since I'm already in like a crushed place, let's get crushed some more, And I just remember that making me be able to show up really in an open way that I don't know if we would have got as far as we did if I wasn't that broken down. Cause I had a lot of I was very guarded as a human. And I think it was an unguarded place. I was vulnerable, literally. I just had no defenses up.
Yeah.
I didn't have the energy.
Like there were a lot of moments where you were, very straight up. And it's like, this is what I need. And we need to either, if that's how you want to do it, then cool. And if not, then no bueno. And that was definitely important, I think, in our early years for sure.
Yeah.
I had to learn to like, really figure out what I want because I'm a child of that.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know what I want.
And whoever does, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. It was important.
Yeah. I think there was a really good option of just being alone, right? And so if your options are with a person in a way that it makes sense and is authentic or be by yourself, that's very different than if you're like, well, I want to make it work no matter what. And I definitely was not in a make it work no matter what kind of place.
And I wasn't either because I was like trying to start a music career, knowing how difficult that was going to be. But we fought for it.
I was very, I don't know, it was difficult for me because I do think still a little bit, but I definitely at that point I had a bit of an anxious attachment style.
Yeah.
It was weird. I think because of abandonment stuff, my mom, whatever.
Yeah.
Issues that I may have. I think I do have a bit of that like codependency and anxious attachment stuff that just comes from abandonment issues. But at the same time, I was in this place of like, I was willing to just go to zero because I was coming from a really like weird and tough place where I was just like, I don't have the bandwidth for any bullshit. Right. So like, that converged really well, but at the same time I did have that stuff. It's just it's still part of my makeup to some extent, right? So like it was difficult to navigate that you were so, I don't know, you were so possessed of like your trajectory in life and what you wanted to do. And it was very primary to you.
Yeah, for sure.
You were going to do the things you wanted to do, like musically with bands, and like, you're like, I'm going to go build guitars in was it Michigan?
Yes, Michigan.
Yeah. Early in our dating, we were like long distance for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And that was a difficult prospect for me. We had a lot of difficult conversations. Like I wasn't sure if I wanted to start a relationship that was so young,
Yeah.
in that way,
Mm.
But I think also because you were so sincere and communicative and easy to talk to about it, and we were able to like set up goals and really talk about how we were going to make it work, and nobody was being cagey. It felt safer.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of that too was like me being with someone and thinking about like starting to really think about my future and how do I want to shape that,
Mm-hmm.
and is like a music career really going to be the right thing? And I ended up coming back to that, but at the time I was kind of like, oh, this is pretty nice, like cohabitating, and maybe I should think about a career in which I am like can stay in one place and
Mm-hmm.
do something fulfilling and be with a person. So it wasn't all, I know it was like it served a lot of purposes. I think it was also like I was 22 and I felt like we were moving really fast, and
Yeah.
so like I was like, if this is good, if this works, then we get through this, and now I have
Yeah.
a trade that I can like, I could potentially set up a life with.
Yeah.
And then if this is, we go through this test and it breaks us, then it wasn't meant to be. But
Yeah.
it ended up being like half of the first, like the relationship was good, but I didn't want to build guitars anymore. Well, it's not that I didn't want to, it's just that we were in New York and it didn't pan out really, and so it
Yeah.
goes. So yeah.
There's ultimately, I would say, the way that I metabolized it, like some wisdom to it was too early to
Yeah.
change your ideas of what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
We hadn't been dating long enough for that.
Yeah.
You had made that decision and you thought about doing that before we started dating. So I think it would have been erroneous really to not do something so pivotal. Like you're like
Right.
going to move somewhere for 6 months and like you're going to go to this, like it's a big deal, right? So it's like if you're like going to go to college and you're like, no, I met a girl, like it wasn't, that would have been insane. What's it called? Codependent behavior. And I do think it checked our codependence early.
It did.
I was coming out of this relationship and in lots of ways in a shaky place, emotionally, mentally. So if I had just been able to latch onto this in like that way, in a way that I couldn't because like you're not physically there and I had to like be good on my own 2 feet to some extent, I think that really, it helped us. I think it was too soon for me to have jumped in a relationship on paper.
Right.
And I think that really pumped the brakes and made me self-constitute and like, step back and like just reform into who I am again, which you kind of, especially when I was that young, I had kind of like lost myself a bit in the last relationship. And I think looking at how ours works now, and we've been together like 3 times as long as I've been with this person, it was hard work. And I'm realizing it doesn't have to be. Compatibility is so important.
Yeah.
I liked this person. This person was a good person. I would never date someone who isn't. I was way too guarded too, and I notice everything. And you know me.
Yeah.
But we were not compatible.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately why I ended up breaking up. Is I realized that we were only happy at separate times.
Yeah.
If we were doing something that made me happy, it was making him unhappy, and if I was. And vice versa, essentially. So it's like we could only be happy one at a time.
So what makes us compatible, Yasmeen?
Well, I think we both have the same idea of fun for the most part. And I know that sounds, but it is so important you have the same idea of fun. We can both be homebodies on some level, but we also like to do stuff. I think we have the same level of ambivert likeness. Like we're a bit half introvert. We are people who like to be around people. We need to be around people. But we need to regain energy after it. It is a finite amount of energy that we have socially. And my ex, he really could be by himself in perpetuity and would probably prefer it.
Yeah.
And really preferred to just be at home and decompress, like watch movie, like was not, and didn't enjoy when he was like, when I'm like, let's go to dinner, let's do this, like didn't want to go on a trip, like all that stuff. And that matters because how you want to spend your life matters. And if someone doesn't want to spend their life the same way as you, that's valid, but they should get to do it too. So if it's this constant push and pull of dragging someone around, that's not compatible.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. And people don't really change.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
I think foolishness is important to us.
We like to be silly.
It's important to find someone you can be really, I mean, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a foolish, silly person.
Well, my dad used to call me Foolishness International. So he used to call me and my sister Foolishness International. That was like our nickname. So
I think it's so important to find it. Like, it's a tough world. Listen, it's a tough, straight to camera. It's a tough world. Like you need, you need someone that you can blow off steam with. Like you need someone that you can just laugh about everything with.
Yes.
You need to like have a foolishness language with your partner.
Yeah. You need to be able to be like, give him that look and be like, you know, just like two bad bacteria, Millie rocking in there, you know?
That's I think the single most important thing for us. In my mind, maybe. I don't know.
Yes. I mean, I think it's massively important.
It's huge.
I guess I put it under the heading of like have the same idea of fun, but also like have the same idea of release and enjoyment, have the same priority of joy and how you find joy, right? And I also we're both really into self-improvement. Like that's a huge thing. And I think when I'm flailing in that area and I'm being more complacent, it's almost like you'll be in that headspace. It'll kind of keep me going. And I do generally think we bring out the best in each other.
Definitely. And
even two good people can sometimes not bring out the best in each other.
That is true. No, that's so huge. I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, you want to be inspired by the person you're with and vice versa. And you're going to have obviously peaks and valleys of where you're like feeling like a more aspirational version of yourself.
Right.
And there are valleys where you're just like, don't have the energy to push. And it's really helpful in those times if you look to your left and the person you're with is like, well, that's cool. Yeah. And like, obviously like we push each other, but not in like a unhealthy way either. It's not like,
not in a fixed way.
Don't take your eye off the ball. We're not like accountability partners in that weird way.
No.
That's super creepy. No, but like, it's like it's more just like lead by example type of thing. Like we both see each other doing well and trying hard.
Yeah.
And then that's really inspiring in those moments where you're not feeling strong enough to do that, you know.
100%. Yeah. And like we talked about communication before, and that's such a massive thing. I trust you. You're a trustworthy person. Yeah. So I can always make sure you trust the person that you're with.
Oh my God.
That's just a non-negotiable because whatever you're throwing at me, it may be hard in a moment if I feel triggered. I don't love that word, you know.
Gotta delete that one.
Well, whatever. Yeah. It's a word. Some things are overused and they start to feel annoying, but ultimately it has a function. If I'm, you know, dealing with stimulus that are not necessarily coming from this very moment, but they're coming from other things that I'm bringing into the moment, it can be hard to see the goodwill or your good intention. But I can always cornerstone that this person would only ever have good intentions. Yeah. Because I trust you and I know you're a good person and you're not a manipulative person and you're not a liar and you wish me well. And I know that. That's easy. ABCs. I know this person wishes me well. You'd be surprised how many people date each other that don't wish each other well.
Oh my gosh.
That are in a competition and a power struggle and like not a healthy competition, okay? Yeah. Like
if you're in competition with your partner, you need to get, first of all,
you've seen it though, right?
Y'all need to separate and you need to figure your thing out before you can subject yourself to anyone else. Like you're crazy.
Sir, why are you competing with your wife? And like vice versa? Like I have seen this dynamic with couples
Oh yeah.
in like real life, like not just like TV couple, like where it's like, I think that they're like hating on each other and like wanting to win. And it's just like, wouldn't one of their wins be both of, and like, why is your lane the same too?
Seriously.
Maybe it's important to be compatible, but maybe it's important also to just have your own separate lanes on some level. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Would we have an issue if I was also like driving at like indie music career? Maybe,
I don't know. We are comparing numbers of streams for your podcast versus my album.
It's still
I'm just
such a
kidding. Not really.
different.
We really aren't comparing.
Yeah.
We're both like, oh, you're doing well. Cool. Check out what I'm doing.
I'm
going well for me.
excited when you say
Yeah.
something pop because I'm like, maybe I
Yeah,
could do something like
exactly.
that. Like,
Exactly.
but I think to some extent, Charlie, that is who we are.
Right.
Like, I don't consider other people's gains my losses. That's actually not how I'm wired.
Yeah.
I think of the world as being pretty abundant, and if you can see it, you can be it. My God, the fucking phrases that I. But you know what I
that
mean?
one. Clip
It's
it.
just, it's neuroplasticity. If someone is able to do something, it's just you learning that it can be done.
Yeah.
That's like how I think of it. I don't see somebody as
I
having a lot of money and be like, oh my God, fuck that. Like, why do they have it? I'm like, oh, so you could have it like that. Like,
Yeah.
I've always been happy when I see someone with a big, crazy house. Like, and I'm always hoping it's one mailbox. Cause I'm like, please just let that be one
know,
person's
right?
house. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually how I'm wired.
Yeah.
I see that stuff as an inspiration. I see your hardworkingness as an inspiration. Like, it just gives me energy. It
Yeah.
gives me that vibe of like, okay, si se puede. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah, don't be a hater. I
Don't
mean,
be
that's
a
just
ha- that's
generally.
low vibrating.
That's not relationship advice. That's like life advice for
Ugh.
everyone. Also, you'll if you're not with someone,
mhm.
don't be a hater. Like you'll find
You'll
someone a
stay
lot
not
faster.
with someone.
Yeah, you want to be a hater. Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely stay alone.
Yeah, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Be petty, but like, don't be a hater.
Pettiness is important.
There's a very big difference between like
Well, that's being
Kendrick
wronged.
Lamar and like, well, who's just a hater to be a hater?
Trump. Just kidding.
Is he a hater? I mean, I guess.
He's like the world's biggest hater. Like he
Yeah.
hates the whole world.
He hates strange things. Like,
Hates
remember when he
himself,
went on a
definitely.
crazy rant to like Kristen Stewart and like just getting mad at her for breaking? Like,
I'm telling you, he's like an all-time hater. What do you
like,
mean?
His
Like,
level of hate towards like Rosie O'Donnell is like comical.
that
It's
shit is fucking funny. Oh my
like,
god,
what is that?
it's so
Anyway.
weird. Anyway, I'm sorry to invoke the Cheeto. Horrible.
Yeah, we can move
but
on
yeah.
from that.
Anyway, don't be a hater.
Yeah, and don't
Pettiness is
be
cool.
with someone that elicits a competitive, like a dysfunctionally unhealed competitive side of you. Like, they shouldn't be triggering you. Like, your partner in life should be like a support system. They should be something that inspires you, a warm place to land, or a soft place to land, I think is the phrase. It shouldn't be something that is like making you feel less than. And whether they're doing it on purpose or not, that's not a way you should feel in a relationship. And if if it isn't coming from them actively and you're feeling that way, you're probably not in a healed enough place to be in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, we could broaden this and just say like just generally power struggles. That's always a problem for people in
The
relationships.
crazy egos.
Yeah, like it doesn't even necessarily have to be exactly competition. It can be like they're weird power dynamics.
Struggles.
Power struggle has never really been. I've never
Mhm.
thought of that when thinking about us at all.
No, we don't have that really. I mean, we might we're both a little bit have controlling of our environment things.
Yep.
But I think they're really relegated to ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
I want to feel in control in my environment. I don't want to control you.
No, yeah, that's also one of the big things, I think.
Yeah.
One of the cornerstones.
That's why we'll get weird around where in the fridge something goes. Because we're
Right.
both trying to control our environment,
For
and like
sure.
we're both a little bit. I hate when people say we're a little bit OCD. Like, OCD is like
yeah.
actually a disorder.
We are a bit
We
compulsive.
have
We have
probable
obsessive-compulsive.
compulsive
Uh,
tendencies,
yeah.
undiagnosed. Because who has it like that in this economy?
Kidding me? You
Who's
can't afford
diagnosing?
it.
I'm not a millionaire,
You crazy?
but so we'll have that, but it just comes down to like bickering where on the table something goes, because I actually have no interest in controlling you in your life.
No.
I think it's actually really refreshing that you aren't controllable. I found that also to be a difficult thing with my ex, is that he would yield, and it just becomes like, who are you even with?
Right.
You're not even always trying to get your way. You're trying
Right.
to have a partnership. You're trying to have a discussion. You're trying to come to an agreement, and someone's just folding.
Right. The problem isn't always being over controlling. The problem is definitely, it can also be being too controllable. You
Right.
can't have that kind of thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. It's never going to work. And that person who's always relenting is almost guaranteed to be building resentment as well.
1,000%.
I mean, what I would call what we'll do, I mean, we'll sometimes end up having to negotiate.
Yeah.
What disagreements, but
Yeah.
but that's really it. And
We want
and
each
what I
other to
recommend
leave
you do
happy.
is get extremely drunk and start negotiating in the car on the way home, in the Uber. Don't drive. In the Uber home, start screaming at each other, and that's how you negotiate successfully.
We've definitely done that one. But I will say, and we have both recently, maybe I've only talked about myself. No, we had a whole episode together about we do not drink anymore. But when we did, and boy did we certainly had some crazy conflict. But our way of dealing with that was generally someone would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I'm sorry. And then we'd be like, I don't know why we're fighting. And then we would want to just squash it. Yeah. And I think I do not recommend drunken arguments. If you can really try not to figure anything out when you're intoxicated, that is for the best. It's definitely easy to see in hindsight now how much of our inflated feelings and triggered emotions or whatever just came from
being drunk,
the crazy hormones that come along with being drunk.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, a drunk truth is your life's I don't even know what the phrase is. Like that alcohol lowers your inhibitions and it shows how you really feel. Yes and no. It lowers your inhibitions. And so you are reacting. You're very reactive to everything. But there's no priority system. So it's like, oh, this person didn't smile at me. They hate me now. So that's not your exact feeling, right? Because I think part of your personality and part of your self is rational, neuroplasticity, learning things, learning how to trust people, and learning how to regulate your emotions. That's part of who you are now.
Yeah.
So when you remove all of that, that's not really you.
Right. Exactly.
So I would not recommend figuring things out uber wasted. Even when we did come to whatever agreement, we forgot about it the next day and had to have a discussion again.
What were we screaming at each other about?
Yeah. Our conflict resolution style now is the reason it's successful, even if it sometimes is rot, is because we both want each other to leave happy. Like, we're not going into it being like, I'm going to win. I want to run this person over. I'm going to fucking get my points across and they're going to have to do what I want because I'm going to win with like a PowerPoint. And I think what I see, not just in romantic relationships, in friendships, in all kinds of relationships, the problem is that people don't really want to reach an agreement. They want to win.
Yes.
And it's not winning to me if you leave unhappy, hurt, sad. That's not winning to me. Obviously. And that's not going to feel good.
Yeah.
And I know that you come from the same place.
Yeah.
And that's why, we haven't had one that broke it all apart yet.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, you gotta heal your nihilism. If you really want to be in a successful relationship, it's really not just about loving one person. It's about or wanting calm down. About wanting one person to succeed. It's about like wanting.
As I'm sharpening a knife.
It's about generally like wanting other people to do well, wanting the people closest to you to do well, and to also thrive, and to investigate what in yourself is oppressive towards the people around you, and how you can be better, and how you can. And that's just, then you feel better about yourself too, because then you aren't going out into the world worried that you're annoying everyone.
Right.
Or bothering everyone or
Right.
controlling everyone, or like, it's like,
You're not pissing everyone off.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. Yeah, I definitely think more. And I think because I've been now with someone for so long that I can trust, and I've learned that that can happen, which some things you have to learn firsthand. And it's funny, you'd think that I've been hurt a million times. I've literally never been broken up with because I've never been dating someone seriously. And the one time I did the breaking up. But somehow I have the like trust issues of someone who's been like thrice divorced.
Yeah.
Whatever. Maybe it's like family stuff. Like you see other people go through that stuff. But I've been with someone long enough, and me and my neuroplasticity, right? I really have that to like go back to in my head. That, well, this person wants the best for me. This person deserves grace, fairness, kindness. And every time I'm mad about something, I have to think, and I do think, he wouldn't give me shit about this.
Right.
You know, like he would just help me. He would just do it. He would just give me a break. And like whenever I'm thinking of being reactive, I come back to that because it sounds horrible to say, but like I feel like I have to be fair to you. And I don't know that I've always felt like I have to be fair to everybody.
Yeah.
Like I thought, and not just fair.
I'm sure most people.
I don't think I always came from a place of, if I'm right, I still have to give someone grace.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's the lens a lot of people are coming through.
That's
like
deep.
that, the seeing through. It's like,
you're right.
Even with this whole like Amanda West thing, you know, and I talked about it in my last episode, it's this reality show drama. I don't want to get myopic about it to a point where you can't listen to this episode, but it's just a weird cheating scandal couple thing. And there are so many people coming from the lens of like, why does this person have a right to be hurt? She was barely dating this person. Who cares if her friend started hooking up with them?
Right.
That's the thing of, on paper, this person doesn't have a claim. It wouldn't hold up in court.
Right.
And since they can't claim it on paper, you don't want to give them grace.
Right.
Is that how we treat people we love?
Seriously.
I don't think they should have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, like to a jury of their peers, that their feelings are valid. Right. You love them, and so you just honor their feelings wherever they're at, even if they're not 100% justifiable.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very well put. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely felt that in our relationship.
Good.
Absolutely. Keeping that one short.
It's like,
that's all.
Like a gun under the mic, like teamed at you the way you just said that.
No.
You would honestly think I pulled the hammer back or something. You're like, I've definitely felt that. I know what you mean.
No. I mean, I'm more just like, I'm not going to harp on you for how many times I'm just kidding.
For how many times have
I felt that.
Oh, yeah.
Just play.
No, I mean, I'm sure it's many.
Yeah, I'm sure for you too.
I'm sure it's many. I definitely I'm a reactive person. Like,
I mean, but also, it's just like, you know, it's going to go both ways in that way.
Yeah.
You can't expect your partner is going to be wrong. And I'm going to be wrong. Your partner is going to be wrong at times. And you, or whatever, or you're going to feel, let's just say, you're going to feel that your partner is being unjustified in their emotions.
Yes.
But they are still having those emotions, and those emotions are valid, even if exactly. It doesn't hold up in court. And you have to weigh that, and you have to honor the emotion while still speaking your piece and making sure that you're explaining why you don't feel. You don't, not to invalidate the feelings, but you like to explain why you're not lining up there.
Yes, why you're not aligning.
But while still acknowledging that those feelings are real and you know,
while caring about it.
And you have to care.
Yeah,
you should check in with yourself.
The weird
if you
thing
don't
about
care.
being in a relationship is like you have to kind of be caring to your partner and meet them where they're at to some extent, and also entertain the idea you might be wrong, even if it doesn't feel that way.
Right. You always have to.
Because the odds.
That's a hard one.
It's a hard one.
And I get why. Yeah. I get why in those moments people don't survive them sometimes because
oof, it's hard in the moment. I mean, we're bringing so much into all of our interactions from like, our lives, our jobs, our stress, our childhoods. We're bringing so much into it, and you can feel so justified and look at it a few years down the line, a week down the line, and see like, yeah, I guess they were right, and I've had that happen enough times where I bring it into my thinking before I get in the art. Like now I'm like, well, there's a real possibility that I'm all the way up right now and I'm not seeing clearly in a way that I didn't have that bit of space before. And I mean, that comes with age, that comes with building trust. That comes with experience. Years. It comes with sobriety.
Certainly helps.
Yeah.
If you want,
it helps me.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people who regulate themselves with, a well, regulated alcohol habit. I was not one of those people. So this is not, I'm never trying to be judgmental, and I want to say this one time and be done with it on this podcast. If I talk about issues from drinking and me being sober and how it's better, it's for me. I think I know a lot of people who seem like fully functional people who have some beers here and there. I'm not that guy. That's why we're here. So yeah, and that's why we made it 15 years. And I'm here to tell you that this was the last year. And
what? Whoa, what?
So we are going our separate ways. Can you imagine I start talking to camera and not you? This is Charlie's last episode. No. We've come a long way, and it's great. And maybe we'll actually have that wedding one day.
Yeah, we probably should do that.
I'm not doing the admin.
I know. Someone will. We'll hire someone.
I'm not paying for that.
My mom will plan it. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, she might. Yeah, Janet Planet.
Janet Planet.
Shout out. Our girl. Yeah. She's definitely offered to help.
She will.
We won't even do the admin to like tell her what to help with. Like it's beyond. This is where sometimes compatibility can go wrong. Neither of us like admin. We'll
never have a wedding.
And so here we are.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, thanks for being on.
You're welcome.
My life.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you, boo.
I love you, man.
Cheers.
We'll see you next time.